employees start to focus on work that actually create more opportunity of growth. Have a clear understanding, have a vision, know where you want to be. Don't try to boil the ocean and already understand how much you need to spend in total to get there. Also because this technology is changing extremely fast. Using chatbot, it's a very good opportunity because it's low risk. You can easily get the consumer out or the customer out of the chatbot so they would be able to talk to a person. So training programs are very, very important. Explaining what happened to the data, explaining how the data are built are extremely important because that's the way that is going to tell you how the data can be. Everything depends on the solution, the problem that you're trying to solve.
Welcome to the Chief AI Officer Podcast,
where AI meets leadership.
And here is your host, Sanjay Puri.
Welcome to the CAIO Podcast, where we explore the journeys, the insights, and challenges of Chief AI Officers and enterprise AI leaders who are shaping the future of artificial intelligence in Fortune 1000 companies and government agencies. I'm your host, Sanjay Puri, and today we have a truly remarkable guest with us. Meet Gaia Bellone, the Chief Data and AI Officer for Emerging Markets at Prudential Financial. She has a PhD in statistics from Carnegie Mellon University and over 15 years of experience spanning financial services giants like Chase and KeyBank. Gaia has been at the forefront of enterprise AI transformation. She's been recognized as one of the 40 most influential data leaders in the US finance by CDO magazine. And she's passionate about responsible AI, diversity and inclusion in tech, and developing AI strategies that span multiple countries and business models. Gaia, welcome to the CAIO podcast.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, and thank you so much for inviting me today and talk a little bit about my experience and hopefully bring something to your audience that they might be interested in.
Well, they would be if we have a global audience. These are leaders in AI. These are practitioners of AI. These are entrepreneurs, academics, working towards building really a transformative world where AI can be a change maker. So given that, we also have audience members who want to follow in your footsteps, learn from you, from your peers, and also get inspired in joining opportunities at companies like Prudential. So just give us a quick background as to your journey from academia to becoming an influential AI leader in finance. Walk us through that journey at the intersection of statistics, data science, and AI.
Okay, so I'll try to make it quick. It was a long journey. I have to say I've been very lucky. It's a mix between having opportunities and being very excited about solving problems that matter. Even when I was during my undergrad, actually, that was really a coincidence because I was more on M&A side. But then a friend of mine kind of inspired me and told me, I think you would have a lot more fun in doing stochastic calculus applied to finance. And she was right. So that's really where my journey started. And then when I came to the US, I had this incredible opportunity to join Carnegie Mellon University, where I did my PhD. And over there, I really had the chance to discover how data science, AI, machine learning, legacy statistics, optimization can help to solve real world problems, not just in finance, but pretty much on anything we do. And then I had the great opportunity to join the financial industry, which I think it's an extremely important industry globally, of course, and in the US. In the US, where you have a population that can really depend on credit. Unless they have good credit, they cannot really follow their dreams. And when I started to work in finance, really, I picked the topic because I felt the mission. I felt the mission to being able to use what was fun for me, because Data and AI sincerely are fun to solve problems that really made a difference in consumers' life, in employees' life, at enterprise level. So when we think about the journey and what could make it successful, it's really try to do things with passion. It's just much easier to work through problems that you have a passion to solve and use your skills to actually solve them. When we think about AI, often people think that is a very focus on the technical part. Instead, we are really a little bit in the middle of everything. We are usually people very, very curious about real problem to solve. And then we use our expertise to find solution that can help the user on the other side, the employees on the other side, the consumer on the other side. So you get excited because you have also an opportunity to see the impact of your work. Um, Working on AI usually provides very tangible and measurable impact, and this also it's a driver, I think, for our success to be helping us to keep focusing on solving problems.
Well, that's a pretty important message that you have given in terms of really making a difference using this transformative technology. Since you touched upon it, I was going to ask about this a little later. So let's go at it right now, Gaia. One of the biggest challenges that your peers in across the board, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies faces, this technology, at least at this stage, does involve certain level of investments that maybe have to be pulled in from other projects or new investments, etc. But all statistics shows that companies are implementing this. How do you figure out the ROI on an investment of this kind? This is something that your peers really want to understand is it tangible? Is it non-tangible? You talked about really getting the benefit of this technology. You can see the benefit. So talk to our audience. How can you see it? How can you measure it?
Sure, especially when you start, there are plenty of opportunities that you can use AI in project that can immediately show you an impact.
Mhm,
Uh, Probably we all talked a lot about efficiencies that this technology can bring, and
mhm,
this is pretty easy to actually showcase what would be an impact in uh, shortening the time
mhm,
to actually do certain work
mhm,
and having your employees start to focus on work that actually create more opportunity of growth. So you,
mhm,
in that case, you have the impact on the RI on two sides. Doing things costs less. I can do things much faster. And also, I have more time to build things that can create a lot more value. And there
mhm,
are plenty of small opportunities across enterprises where you can start. And
mhm,
the fact that now it's actually not extremely expensive to start the journey,
mhm,
that you don't need to buy servers, you can just use cloud computing.
mhm,
And in the beginning it's pretty easy to have just a sizable
mhm,
bytes where you can get the technology that you need, and you can use your talent to start to build small solutions that already showcase the impact, and then from there you can keep growing. My suggestion would be, have a clear understanding, have a vision,
mhm,
know where you want to be.
mhm,
Don't try to boil the ocean and already understand how much you need to spend in total to get there. Also, because this technology is changing extremely fast.
mhm.
So, whatever prediction you are doing today from 5 years from now, most likely is going to be wrong. We know that things are changing on a monthly
Or
basis.
maybe even 2 years from now.
Yes, even
Mhm,
2 years from now, things are really changing on monthly basis, which is extremely exciting.
mhm,
So give yourself the opportunity to understand where you want to be, which kind
mhm,
of enterprise you want to be in
mhm,
2 years from now, in 3 years from now. and then identify opportunities that you can quickly develop and implement so that you can actually understand maybe the limitation or the positive impact or maybe the negative impact and the risk that you are adding to your own enterprise so that you can also build not only the solution but also everything that is needed to properly manage this solution to minimize the risk and provide the best opportunities, the best solution to your enterprise and to your customers.
Yeah, so know where you want to be at the end, how it can help your customers, and what solutions can drive you there. That kind of leads to the other question that some of your peers had. Given this transformative technology, um, there are so many use cases across the enterprise, whether it's in customer engagement, whether it is in internal employee support, HR, you name it. How does, but you, one doesn't have, no matter how big an enterprise, you can't do all of them. How do you pick the right use cases to start and advance this journey, Gaia?
So the way I would suggest to start, it's look at already the vision that your enterprise have,
Mm-hmm.
where your enterprise want to be from a business perspective, and identify over there what are the big opportunities that your enterprise wants already to pursue so
Mm-hmm.
that then you can understand how the solution that you can build can truly impact those opportunities. That
Mm-hmm.
is probably the best way to start. Instead of trying to boil the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
start from already very clear business goals that
Mm-hmm.
your enterprise have and
Mm-hmm.
try to understand how you can best enable them
Mm-hmm.
using these new technologies.
So find the business goal and then figure out how these new technologies can do that. Um,
And
Gaia,
everything that you need
yeah,
also to build those solutions.
a lot of uh, enterprises have picked upon customer support or, you know, customer chatbots to deal with it. Do you think it is all specific to an enterprise, or do you think that is one of the best ways for enterprises to go down that path?
Um, I think that's the first customer experience. So it's what the market is able to experience first.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, all enterprises are using this technology also inside their own solutions. So they might be a little bit more worried when we think about the customer experience that are trying to already recommend, for example, product, right? They
Mm-hmm.
want a person there. And also the consumer might want a person to talk about product and suggest what the product is. So when we talk about customer experience, probably the way that would be the people have the chance to understand really what might be the limitation using
Mm-hmm.
chatbot. It's a very good opportunity because it's low risk.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily get the consumer out or the customer out of the chatbot so they would be able to talk to a person. But there are many other use cases that are internal to the enterprise where already they've been using AI. And generative AI might be new, but AI has been in use for a very long time. As I often, when I talk to my peers, we all say that to each other. AI is there since 1956, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um, and in financial services has been over there for a very very long time because it's one of the best way that it can do our job given that we deal with a lot of data
Mm-hmm.
and it's very very hard to make sense of the data unless you're using a sophisticated solution like the one offered by statistics and machine learning. so that you can properly support your enterprise and support your customers. And then, of course, now there is generative AI that kind of made AI more visible to all industries, and they start to see the opportunity to use it at scale across their own different channels, the internal or external.
Mm-hmm. No, I think those are very good points for your peers in terms of what uh, use cases to pick. Chatbots are good, but it also depends on their enterprises. Um, Gaia, you also were the head of AI data governance and responsible AI. Uh, so let's talk a little bit about that because data is the kind of the foundation of AI. So talk to your peers in terms of how have uh, you have a very large enterprise across many different streams globally, etc. How do you make sure that the data is um, there is data privacy, there is ethical data that is free of biases. How do you make sure the governance is done right, because that's coming into great attention right now?
Yes, also, what we always need to remember, and this
Hmm.
is a sentence that I'm sure my peers are already heard it many times,
Hmm.
especially when you use data science or AI,
Hmm.
you have the issues that you can have garbage in, garbage out, which
Hmm.
means if the data is not good enough, it doesn't matter how sophisticated is the tools that you're using, you will still get a very bad solution that shouldn't be used. So having good data, it's extremely important, and managing properly the data, it's extremely important. First of all, because a lot of the data that we need to use, it's actually data that belongs to our customers or our consumers in general, vendors and markets. So
Hmm.
we have the responsibility to manage this data properly. We should think about the solution that we build from a user perspective. We
Hmm.
should identify ourselves with them. We
Hmm.
are first consumers,
Hmm.
then we are part of an enterprise.
Hmm.
So it's really important to govern the data properly so that people will trust you and people will use the solution that we build with
Hmm.
trust and will be willing to share their data so that your solution can be better and better. Because as soon as people don't have confidence anymore in what you are doing, they think that you are misusing the data that represent themselves, they're not going to share it anymore, and
Yeah.
that is going to kill the opportunity. You cannot have AI, this new technology, without the right data behind it. Now, governance program governance program for data are very important,
Hmm.
and it's very important that everybody in the enterprise understand that they have responsibility on the data that they manage, the data that they receive, the data that they use. It's not just about technology, it's not just about the data scientists, but actually it's everyone inside the enterprise. And when you build the program it's really need to be able to speak across the enterprise to everyone, because it's truly a responsibility across the enterprise how the data are managed. So training programs are very, very important. Explaining what happened to the data, explaining how the data are built are extremely important, because that's the way that is going to tell you how the data can be properly used, based on the way are built, the way they need to be stored, copies that you need to made. And you would see that when you use it, there are regulations that help you to understand how to best manage them and use them, but also there is enterprise ethics that help you to understand how to do it better. And often the enterprise regulation might be stronger than the one that come from the regulator outside, because we have, while the one that come from the regulator are more industry level, the one that come internally is really to support our customers and our employees. So having very good program for data governance, clearly understand how the data comes in, the data need to be stored, the data need to be managed, the data need to be used, and learning from those processes, it's extremely important at every single step and with everyone in an enterprise. As I was saying, sometimes people think it's a job just about of technology, but absolutely not. It's a job of the business and every single employees. And actually, the collaboration between the business and technology is extremely important because often the business is the one that has more knowledge about the data. We hear a lot about data steward. The data steward often sit in the business side. They are really the one that understand what these data are saying about our customers and our business and need to help to understand technology, how the program need to be built to better manage those.
Right. So, what I think you just to summarize, at every step there needs to be a process and a methodology. Uh, the enterprise across the board has to be trained in understanding, the significance of data, and the technology folks need to work with the business folks. That's very, very important. Gaia, would you recommend? Are there data governance committees within organizations, your organizations, other organizations that should be set up? What what do you recommend for something of that nature?
Absolutely. Um, there should be committee where
Hmm.
you have representation across the enterprise.
Hmm.
As I was saying before, everybody is responsible, but everybody need to be able to be part of the process.
Hmm.
So having those committees that really make all the leadership responsible for those program and support those program, it's extremely important. And then each of those leaders have the job or trickle down inside their own organization how the employees need to support the program. So committees need really have representation across the enterprise so that everybody feels part of it and can share their experience, their needs, based on the job that they need to do in how to best manage the data and how to best the program need to be built and deployed.
Yeah, so committees are important. Um, on the part of data, Gaia, there has been a lot of conversation about synthetic data versus human generated data. Uh, what are your thoughts for your peers in terms of what do you do, or what should others do, whether synthetic data is good, etc.?
Sure. Of course, everything depends on the solution, the problem that you're trying to solve. But in general, I love synthetic data because help you to optimize any solution that you're building much, much faster. And then you use the real data to when the solution is deployed so that you can actually keep improving. But really using synthetic data allows you to get to deployment to offer a product, a solution to your users or to your businesses or to your customers that it's already optimized. And then, of course, you keep getting performance and feedback so that you can keep improving. In the past, when we didn't have the opportunity to use synthetic data, keep optimizing was a kind of a very slow process because you needed enough feedback before really deciding to make any change because you really wanted to make sure that the feedback that you would get was realistic, was really representing most of your customers or consumers or employees. It wasn't just an outlier, right? Now, instead, first you can create synthetic data that would give you that you would be able to represent a lot of your market, a lot of your experiences, optimize based on this, get to the market with a much better product, and then keep getting the feedback from the real people and improving with the timing that then it takes because of course collecting feedback takes a lot of time before that becomes significant, and then you would start make changes.
No, I think you're making a key point here about synthetic data. You're saying it's a combination of synthetic as well as human generated data. I think the benefit of synthetic data is you can customize it to your business needs, you can optimize it, and then fine tune it accordingly. That's pretty helpful to people who
And
are in that dilemma. Sorry, go ahead, Guy.
I can bring up an example
Mm-hmm,
that is actually using generative AI and the famous
mm-hmm,
agentic AI.
mm-hmm,
Um, when you look at the data that you have, for example,
mm-hmm,
about your market, about your customers,
mm-hmm,
usually the first thing you do, you create profiles, right? You try to identify different segment of the market or your customers, their
mm-hmm,
needs, and how you can best can support them.
mm-hmm,
Now, if you base the build of your product
mm-hmm,
or experiences only based on these, you are actually missing out of everything that you cannot observe
mm-hmm,
and that can make people different,
mm-hmm,
right? You can look at you and I, we might be exactly the same under certain attribute, but much different under others. And
mm-hmm,
depending on what the enterprise can observe, they could put us in the same segment or
mm-hmm,
in different ones.
mm-hmm,
Now, what something like Agentic AI allows you to do,
mm-hmm.
it's taking those profiles and
Mhm,
then generate, for example, millions of customers that match
mhm,
those profiles,
mhm,
but actually are generated looking at the solution space. So that the people, these AI people, might be looking the same under those attributes, but still taking in consideration other attributes that are not observable, and they can make the difference. And then
mhm,
you can take those segments and use those segments that now really look at much broader population
mhm,
and use them to optimize your product, because this is a much better uh, mirror image
mhm,
of your real customers or the real market that are out there, not just what you can observe, which is always very limited.
mhm. Yeah, so I think that's from a data perspective, that's key. You mentioned something in there which is right now the topic du jour, and I'm curious to know as well as your peers are. You talked about agentic AI. So let's talk a little bit about that. Is your organization using it or looking at it? And what are your thoughts? Because in the conversations I have with your peers and leaders, everybody is either doing it or looking to do that. Tell your peers and our listeners, what are you thinking? What your organization and what are your views about agentic
Uh, So, of course, like everybody else, we are doing it as well.
AI?
It's an opportunity that cannot really be missed. When
Hmm.
we look about the old way to leverage machine learning, you would solve one problem at a time.
Hmm.
When we think about agentic AI, instead we can reproduce a much more complex solution. For
Hmm.
example, we can use agentic AI to reproduce a full group of people, group of
Hmm.
worker, group of employees
Hmm.
that can work together to solve a problem. Because usually, every time we solve a problem inside an enterprise or build a new solution for any opportunity, we are actually working together as a group. It's never going
Hmm.
to be only one group providing a solution, but it's always be a group with multidisciplinary skills.
Hmm.
What agentic AI allows you to do, it's actually leverage technology in the same way. You
Hmm.
can create those skills across different groups, create
Hmm.
hierarchy for
Hmm.
making decision across the agentic group. So that really allows you pretty much to replicate the kind of connection that happen inside the enterprise of workers and skill set that need to work together to provide solutions. So I think it's an amazing opportunity, and everybody should identify the best way to leverage it. Always remember, though, that the human in the loop part, especially still for now, it's extremely important while we learn how to best build the agentic groups and how to best leverage them inside the company or in the relationship with our consumers and customers. And especially how to best manage performance and build guardrails so that they're actually doing what we expect and not go off the path that we would like, because usually uh, they're still machines, they're not people. They need
That's right.
guidance, like people need guidance. They need even more guidance because their impact can be a scale and can be much faster than the one that people have. So often you might discover the issue a bit too late, when the issue really impacted a lot of your consumers or customers or employees.
Do you think we'll have super agents who will guide those agents instead of humans?
Yes, it is. Like that would be the idea. Like you have people in hierarchy, then
Mhm.
we will have a super agent that will guide and manage at the lower level. So you will have agents that are expert in smaller parts, and then slowly work together to provide one final optimized solutions.
So, Gaia, for our listeners who obviously either are your peers or across the board, they're all listening to this. Every conference, every conversation is now about agentic AI, startups, etc. When they are in an enterprise, uh, let's just say a large enterprise, what is the benefit if you were to just briefly to the enterprise? Is it saving cost? Is it efficiency? Is it uh, ability to do things that maybe they were constrained to do? Or is it all of the above? Because everybody is thinking, what should I do? And is it, can you apply agents across the enterprise, cross enterprise? So talk to our audience just a little bit about that.
Sure. Sincerely, it's all of the above, right? But also depend from the risk associated to the solution that this agent will develop or manage for you. So ideally, you start from things with low risk while you learn how to best manage the agent with super agent or with actual people engagement, right? And then you keep growing the opportunity to use them more and more across the enterprise. As pretty much everything, start small with something low risk until you learn enough that you're ready to go to the next step, because it's very easy today to really build any kind of solution with those technology, but building good solution is very hard, right? So start small, learn from small, and go one by one to the next step, knowing that pretty much those solutions can provide you a competitive advantage pretty much on everything you do. They can provide to your employees more time where they can create more value, right? There are a lot of tasks that are very annoying, but we just need to do them. Actually, agentic AI can do it for you, so your employees can be used in a better way. Uh, but at the same time, that somebody need also to review what the agentic AI has done until you are not comfortable with it. So, and create programs around it that help you to learn and help you to measure the impact that those solutions are providing. Don't just blindly build solution or blinded buy a solution. Build everything around it so that you can understand the impact that has across the enterprise from a risk perspective, from an ROI perspective, from an efficiency perspective, and from what your enterprise, your employees need to learn to best use those solutions, which is also very, very important. While we say that generative AI kind of provided to everybody the opportunity to do AI. I don't think that that's the right way to see it. Is asking to all of us to understand it and how to best use it, but without forgetting what are the different skills that you need for building it versus using it, right? We shouldn't expect that everybody need to build it. That's wrong, but we should expect that everybody need to know how to use it, right? So this is a little bit the way that we need to think about it. It's a great opportunity, but each competence and skill set will say which kind of relationship will be between our employees and the specific AI solution.
So, Gaia, you said, go slow, build upon that, see how it is. Are you foreseeing a time where, let's say, I'm working in a company, I don't know, in finance, etc. I could have a colleague which might be a digital agent?
Uh, there are many. For now, we are not calling them a colleague. We are calling them more assistant.
Okay.
So they assist a lot of our employees in their daily job for
Jobs.
now,
Okay.
while we learn how to best those solution might be promoted to become
Might be
colleagues.
promoted. So
Let's
you
call it.
so
Let's
you
say
might need HR policies for them too.
yes. We
It's
need
going
a
to be
policy
interesting.
though that actually those solutions can be promoted from assistant that have a very strong oversight to
Mm.
colleagues where they are managed more or less like a colleague might be managed.
So that kind of brings me to the point about this whole talent issue. You have said time and again the human in the loop. So let's just assume there is going to be a human in the loop. When you look at bringing on your team, building your team, not your agentic team, the human team, what skills, talk to our audience who are saying, hey, I want to work for her because I can work on cool things. What are you looking for in some of these people?
Well, of course, technical skills, like we cannot run away from that.
Hmm.
People still need to know how to code. It is
Really?
true that generative AI can code for you, but unless you know how to code, you wouldn't be able to understand if the code that is provided is the code that you need, right?
Okay.
Um, Having people that are passionate about solving problems,
Hmm.
it's also very important. Yes, it's wonderful when you have people that get very excited in using the last technology out there, but we are here to solve problems for an enterprise and for our customers or potential customers. So
Hmm.
that should be our first objective. Not just use technology for the sake of technology. It's using technology with purpose. So I always look for people that have this sense of purpose in
Hmm.
them. And when they talk about the work that they've done and what they've learned, it's always put in a share with me in which kind of impact that work brought to the enterprise or the studies that they were doing, why they choose it. Um, because otherwise it can become very hard for these people to be happy, because enterprises are not like academics. So we don't develop things that are not useful. We develop things that have already a very clear understanding of which kind of goal or problem you are trying to solve and goal you are trying to support. So technical skills are important, and people skills are also important. People need to know how to work with others. We are a community, and we need to be able to work with other people. We learn a lot from other people, and we learn a lot not just from people that know tech. We learn a lot from the people that know the business,
Hmm.
because we are building solution for the business, with the business,
Hmm.
for our customers. So we really need to be able to be a little bit in the middle of everything. Like I don't know if you remember the old idea of data scientist, that
Hmm.
I don't see that out there much anymore, but it didn't change. Who is really a data scientist? It's somebody that knows a lot about the business. It's somebody that knows how to code. It's somebody that knows about data and data science solutions. We're still looking exactly for the same kind of people. Then yes, it might be much faster now to build solution and deploy them thanks to the new technology, but our core capabilities, our core talent, it did not change. It just we can build more solution faster, and we can help to identify better solution for supporting our businesses and customers and employees.
So obviously, table stakes are have to have good technical skills, good people skills, work, have a purpose and a mission behind you, is what you're saying. That obviously is an important thing. One of the things, Guy, comes down to again this talent issue. You pushed a lot is in this diversity in tech initiative. Why do you think that is important from a talent management standpoint?
So people, if everybody come from the same background, then you will be able to solve only specific problems and usually only in one way. Having people coming from very different background help you to see different solutions that maybe you never thought about, and also relate to others in a much different way. Like when we talk about a building solution for our consumer or customers, they might not look like us. They might have other priorities. So if we build teams that are everybody look the same, then you are actually limiting your opportunity to really serve your consumer base or employee base, because everybody will be just thinking about solving a few specific problem with very few specific solution. Having a diverse team keep people on their toes to learn that the world is different out there. And when you're trying to solve something, you really should start to think not just about the people that look like you, but also the people that might not look like you and might be the one that really need the most about those solutions if you want to be successful.
Yeah. So it adds value, it gives people a perspective of what the world looks like, and makes the business more successful, is what you're saying, Gaia.
Mhm.
Um, Gaia, AI transformation often faces resistance, any kind of transformation, I think. But this is a massive transformation where there are some people fearful of jobs or etc. How does one drive cultural change and get organization-wide adoption of this technology and the processes that are going to change around it?
The leadership really need to be behind you and support you. Otherwise, you will have the problem that you try to build something, but yes, as you said, there are a lot of people that are scared that this new technology are going to take their job. So they will try to slow you down as much as possible. Uh, Important is training. Help people that are not yet knowledgeable about those technology in understanding how those technology can make them better, not taking their job, but actually allow them to create even more value than what they're doing. And also, one thing that I'm discussing a lot with my peers, this is a truly a huge transformational opportunity. We had several, of course, in the past. Otherwise, we would still do the hunt and gathering, right? So it's really human nature. We have this big transformation that we need to go through. And each of those transformation, while might have reduced the importance of certain roles, it created new ones. So what I'm working on often with my peers is trying to understand what are the new ones that are emerging. What are the ones that are just a new skill set that is required to each of our employees, not just the tech people? But then what are the ones that are brand new roles that will be needed to truly take advantage of those opportunities? And I'm very excited about those. I don't see them. I don't think anybody really identified them yet. So I think we still have discussion, mostly because we are a lot still experimenting with this new technology. But I'm sure there are new roles that will be needed to fully embrace this new transformation.
Yeah, there obviously it's going to be, at least people are predicting, and we can already see major transformation in the work we do, in the jobs that we have. As you said, it's still not clear what those jobs will be. Um, Gaia, at the end of this, we have for our audience a lightning round, one word answers. This is our kind of a TikTok moment for you. Are you ready?
I'll try my best to keep to one word.
Okay. So tell us, cloud or on-prem?
Hybrid, but
Okay.
mostly cloud.
Okay. That's good. Supervised or unsupervised learning?
Let's say unsupervised, but it depends from the solution that you're trying to build.
Okay. Um, build versus buy AI solutions.
It's not a white, black and white. You're making me in a hard position, but it's really both. It depends on the solution that you're trying to solve. It's never going to be just one of them.
Okay. Finally, open source or proprietary AI software?
I prefer open source.
Okay, at least we've got
That
one
one is
definite
clear.
one definite answer. Gaia, this has been an absolutely fascinating conversation. You know, your insights on building AI capabilities, especially around global markets, and also implementing AI frameworks that are responsible and driving transformation is invaluable for a community of chief AI officers, AI leaders who are listening to you, you know, talking about data proprietary, security, ethics, and talent management. That's very, very helpful. So thank you for sharing your expertise with our community and your insights, really balancing innovation and responsibility. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe to the CIO podcast and leave us a review and share it with your network. We're building a community of AI leaders like Gaia who learn from each other and drive positive change through artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, Gaia. This was fabulous. I could have gone on for another hour.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, for the opportunity. I hope I shared at least some thoughts for the community that is listening, both the one that is building the strategy that will leverage AI, and also all the ones that are starting to learn how to build AI and they want to be in this space. I will be happy to be invited again. This was a lot of fun. And even if we want to be with more question, I'm more than happy to share more about my experience and even get a little bit more technical. But it was lovely. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.